Yes. Just pointing out, just saying that you've got two lines in sections to mark where the railway came through. And we had level crossing gates on here to close off up there. Yeah. And here's the old station house. Peculiar thing about the station house, it's tapered. And when you look at it from this side, it has a symmetrical roof on it. However, if you look from the other side, you'll see the roof has got a twist in it. And the reason being is that there were a pair of cottages already there. But when the railway company bought the land, they bought the cottages and they just sliced through to make this wall parallel with the railway. In consequence, it made the building tapered. And so it's got this peculiar shaped roof on it. Yes. Yeah, you have to see it from the other. You have to stand back up there. So we'll cross over here. This building were two timber goods sheds that were built after the line closed in about 1883, and that was to store all the valuable equipment from the mines, all the if you like, the brasses, the pumps, etc. So as I say, 1883, there are timber store buildings there, but that is the original carriage goods shed. You can see the stone arch and the arch on the side, and we can probably find a better picture of that if we get around here. Yeah. Also, if you look, I know somebody else has got one of the little books, the little guide books, the photographic books. You'll pick up pictures of the locomotive shed or the store shed in here. I can find the page. Well, that's worth having this picture anyway. It's a continuation. We're standing roughly here now. You can just see the timber end of that goods shed. Yes. There's the railway station. And this was in July the 4th, the reopening in 1907. And this is the Mineral Syndicate that came here. And they purchased this locomotive, which is this one. This is, they feel like another shot, but at the same point. And it's approximately where we're standing. This water tower stood where the Scouts' hut now is. I can remember this water tower being there, and it was demolished. There's this old stone wall behind, which is that wall following through. And then you've got the roof there, which is the roof of that building, of the Star pub. Oh, yes, the pub, yes. Pub there. So that gives you some indication of where that is.
This looks like it's condensing.
Yeah. Well spotted, if you notice, it says Metropolitan Railway.
Ah, for the underground.
And it was for the underground.
Ah, yes.
It was an ex-London Metropolitan locomotive.
Taking pictures of other locomotives.
That's right.
Condensing back into the tank.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
A totally unsuitable engine for this track. Too heavy, too long a wheelbase. The other thing I'll point out, which we'll see later on, and it's only for reference, is in that corner you'll see a coal bucket.
Yes.
Iron bucket there with the thing. Up on the hills, you'll see that bucket again, because it still exists. And if I can just quickly find... Yeah, there's a rather forlorn picture of the yard, 1909. Here's the building here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, low shed. There's the two goods sheds. And there's the station. There's the level crossing gates in front.
Fantastic. It's an interesting book, that, isn't it?
Yeah. By Selleck. It's a little book, still available. It's gone up a bit. I think it's about £5 now, and I think it's a green cover. It's been reprinted several times, but it's always...
You get that locally as well?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's usually available either in like the Watchet Museum or any of the local centres, or it can be obtained like the national park centres. We'll make our way now onto Washford.
Yep.
We're going past the Watchet Museum, which is on the left here. If you haven't visited it, I can thoroughly recommend it. It does have a lot of artefacts relating to not only the Watchet town but the mineral line, and there's an excellent model of the incline. Unfortunately, the museum isn't open yet. I think it's March the 27th it opens, so if you are back in this area, I can say recommend going into the museum. There's Molly.
Yeah. For someone who doesn't live in Watchet, she's here a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, there's a town warden.
Yeah.
Come here on the train. Got off.
You can walk the mineral line from Watchet through to Washford, a 2-mile length. But to access it, clearly you can't access it from where we were. You have to get it either through Mill Lane or through Anchor Street, and then via Whitehall, and it will take you then onto the track bed, and you can walk all the way through. Quite a nice walk, 2 mile on the flat, as you can imagine, and then through that valley to our right hand side, running through.
What was their purpose, Phil?
There are transmitting stations, BBC.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, the one here now is completely empty because all the equipment is condensed down into a very small unit, and the building, because of the heat that is generated from the aerials, that waste heat is used to heat the building for the Tropiquera. Some years ago, when it closed, it was there was a feasibility study done to see whether it could be used as a swimming pool. The local council spent some £40,000 on a survey, and then decided, because they felt it was too remote for children to get to, plus they could not run competition pool or exercises, they decided not to do that, and in consequence then spent £1 million building a pool in Minehead, which lasted 15 years and was then demolished.
They built it the wrong size.
Yeah.
They built it bigger, they're still big growing.
We need to turn right on the bend where that Arctic is at present, down Kewish Lane. We're just in front of the white, not this white van, but the next white van. Just on the brow, you can just see one or two white pebbles. Yeah. We can just stop on the crown there. Right, we're now straddling the mineral line. The mineral lines come through from the north there to a property called Ashcroft, and this property was built in sort of the early 1950s, and the line ran through, and there was a level crossing gate here, and then runs right through where the trackway is. Again, you'll see the bungalow there, but in actual fact some people thought that that was the station. It's not the station. The station was sited to roughly where the horse box is, the blue horse box. And unfortunately, I haven't got a large picture, but in that book it does show on whoever's got that book, page 31. You'll see the Washford station, and they were all of the same design. That is the Washford, Roadwater, Coombe Row, Brendan Hill, and Luxborough Road, single story, like a little bungalow structure. But here you had a track, and then you had also a siding, and a siding ran through, so there were two lines across this point. However, by 1920s, when eventually the whole of the line was sold off, the station was totally dilapidated. It was demolished, but some of the sandstone, the red sandstone blocks that I pointed out on those Watchet building, was incorporated in the bungalow. It's not the piece you see at present, because that's an extension that was put on, but just behind it on the other side of it are the large blocks of tore sandstone.
I've wanted to know where that station was
Yeah.
for years. Good. Yeah, imagine, is that part of the old platform there?
No.
Because there's a big drop, isn't it? down
No,
to
it's
that
a big drop,
field?
but it's just an embankment, because there was a twin track through here,
Right.
as a
So
siding.
right through where the house is now. in
Right
fact?
through the houses.
I see.
I can remember looking at an extension on the back of that house, and they did the foundations and cut right through, and it's all made up ground. It goes down about 3
Right.
metres of stone and material. I think nothing else much about. Oh, just mind, you probably notice on my jacket and Tessa's jacket there is this logo, which is what we use for our mineral line, which is a representation of the Rally's Cross engine house. But if you look on this gate post, there's a little marker that's got the logo. And what we've done, wherever we can, anywhere in the existing, we've put that little logo on. So if you're walking along, you see that it's all relating to the mineral line.
Oh, look, there were lambs.
Yeah.
3, look.
And those of you who might be local, if you're of interest, if you have animals and use the veterinary services in Minehead, White Lodge, this is where Phil Brown, the vet, lives.
You must live in this area too.
I live here.
All right. Up through there.
That's why I know the area very well.
Yeah. You know, I'm part of a handball team, and we used to play in the old folks home there.
Yeah.
Are we actually on the old track line now?
No, not yet. The track came through to the left there, but
Over there.
unfortunately you can't access it.
there.
That ramp goes up over what was a girder bridge. It used to be a bridge.
Right.
Yeah. So we're back on the turnpike again, another turnpike. The railway had to follow right on the left-hand side, and so that hedgerow, and it ran right the way through the Abbey grounds. And when you look on the maps of the Abbey, you'll see that the trackway and the embankment cut right through the medieval ditch of the Abbey.
There was a house over here that caught fire.
Yes, the Abbey Mill.
Yeah.
Burnt down just before, late last year.
Oh,
Again,
no.
was a Grade 2 listed building.
Yeah, not working on it then, are they?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's owned by the Crown.
All right.
Of course, it's not. Therefore, it's not insured.
Oh.
The Crown have enough money to cover their buildings. Right, we're going to go round to the right. This is the White Horse pub, which was frequented by the railway staff when they were building the railway line, because there are records of payday that they had from at the pub, because this was in fact the first piece. Now the Tor Quarry is that hillside on the the left-hand side. It's all now virtually covered by trees, but the railway had to cut right through that lump of hillside, and the first piece of track was the piece of track that is running through on the left here, just behind the ponds, because this was in effect the flattest part of the landscape, and therefore they started here, the first place to start building the line. And it's now marked, you see the sort of line roughly marked by the trees, and where those in effect marked by the daffodils. It crosses the river some 6 times on its way through. From bridge number 1 is behind that property called Ashcroft in Lower Washford, and then it crosses the river 6 times on its way through to Roadwater.